Hey, it's Yash. So see, this question is coming from the mind when it asks, "How do I stabilize in this peace?" Now I'm feeling this peace, and it feels so intoxicating, especially if you've lived a debaucherous, hellish lifestyle, or if you have any kind of like mental and emotional imbalances in you, and you're just stuck in emotionally just some people are just ratted out. It's just heavy. They just don't feel good. They're depressed, have mood swings, whatever. And then all of a sudden, God gives you a boon or something, and you start to feel this peace. And so then the mind's like, how do I keep this? How do I keep it? You start worrying about it, and then you lose it. Because, see, thoughts, desires, feelings, tendencies, projections, self-will, all that, it covers the peace. So then when you start worrying about how to keep it, what does that mean? It means you're back into thought. And then your energy's going into the mind now that's trying to figure out how to stabilize in this peace. And so then all of a sudden the peace is going to seem like it disappears. It's like, where'd it go? It's still there. It's still there, but you're not aware of it. Peace is a very subtle thing. It's like in the deeper waters of ourself. Most people are living on the superficial level of their being, which is where like thoughts and feelings and your desires and you're excited and all the superficial feelings and emotions and anxiety and I want this, I don't want that, aversions, likes, dislikes, preferences. That's all the superficial. That's all the surface level of our being. So see, if our attention's on that, we're not going to be aware of the deeper, you can say our deeper body, causal body, subtle body. Words aren't important, but I'm just saying there's deeper aspects and layers of ourselves that the spiritual practice is. That's what the spiritual practice is designed to do, to take our consciousness and attention to these deeper waters so that we're aware of that, because we get burnt out on this superficial level of existence after a while. It could take some lifetimes, but we will get tired of it and burnt out on it. And it doesn't matter. We can accomplish all of our goals and success and get all the worldly accolades, and still it's like, this is it. Like, something's off. I'm not complete. That's the problem with these movie stars and the Hollywood people and stuff. There was a hotel, and he kept his anonymity. They didn't show his face, and he would talk about these parties that these people would have, man, and they were just insane. The cleaners would go in the next day, and there'd be feces on the ceiling, and just everything would be all tore up, and then also they would wait. In these parties, they just rent the whole hotel out. And they would wait until like the cleaning people would come by, and then they would start having sex. Why? Because they were all extreme dopamine addicts. They've got everything they wanted, and they're unsatisfied. So they got to keep taking stuff to a darker level. That's how that addiction happens. Now some, maybe Jim Carrey's one, where they get everything, they realize that I'm still I haven't found peace, this doesn't give me peace, and then they begin their spiritual pursuit. See, he was a more evolved, advanced soul, at least in this comparison. I don't think he's having those crazy Hollywood parties. I don't know Jim Carrey, so I don't know the depth of him, but I'm just saying, I'm trying to give an example. That at some point you get tired of all this, and then your spiritual journey starts, and then you start to taste some of this peace, bliss, people like that word, and then you like, it's natural though, you're like, how can I keep this? That's like asking, how do I practice love? How can I cultivate love? See, these things, they're like organic, essential aspects of our natural being. You can't make that or create it or keep it because it's already there. The thing that we're doing here is it's more like an uncovering of it. This is why a spiritual practice is important, purifying your lifestyle, when we have good, a clean mind, a clean body via diet, via our lifestyle habits, it's like things are more calm inside. There's not all this turbulence. See, when we have a turbulent mind and a turbulent emotional body, how are you going to expect to feel peace? It doesn't matter. You can do your meditation practice. Yeah, but I do my meditation every morning and evening for an hour. Doesn't matter. What about the rest of your life? We got to have continuity. We need spiritual continuity. Our whole life has to be matching. Our whole life has to be a natural demonstration of it. It shows what's important to us. What's important to us? Is it achieving worldly success, or is it to recognize our true nature? And if it's to recognize our true nature, then at some point, the purification will be, I never want to say complete, because as long as we have a body, there can always be a little more purification. But you're cool, you're good with that. You get to where the purification is good enough to where now you can say the most subtle qualities of our true formless self start to manifest through this form. This is what we do. So it's not about keeping it. It's not about like, how do you stabilize in peace? Don't do things to cover up the peace. That's the message. Do introspection. See. Now look, there's some. See, the stuff's deep, man. Subconsciously, and there's karma. We don't know all the time what's going on. Things are being worked out. So it can be good. It can be good when these things start to come up, and they can just come up. There can just be some karmic situation. I recently went through one. I got really sick, and that sucked really bad. I don't think I've ever been that sick. So that something like that can happen. You can't like, well, what did I do? I didn't know. It's happening. Okay. Now that can be, you may not feel an intensity of peace during that time. When Jesus was getting nailed to the cross, let's assume the story's true. I believe it. He's not like at peace. He's not like blissed out, and he don't even see. He's like, oh, that's just a body. That's not me. No, he's fully experiencing this human condition. But at the same time, through his sadhana, he also knew who he was beyond the body. So those things can come up because it purifies us on levels that we're not aware of. You don't have to figure that out either. Just know if some things like that happen and the peace seems to not be as tangible, it's okay. It's okay, because this stuff is coming up to dissolve and get burned up, and then later the peace will be more tangible and it'll be more palpable. You see, so everything's good. This is just the law of karma in life. Like we got certain things, like we got to let life process. This is an evolutionary thing. Sometimes, I had a friend that told me when I was sick, she said in Mexico they have a saying where, I've heard it before, but it's nice that she said it. It's darkest, before dawn or something sometimes. Sometimes we have these situations, and you got to bear it. You just got to bear it. And don't put a time limit on when it should end. This is the thing, this is difficult. This is the real spiritual challenge. When these dark times come, and some of us have them a little more intense than others, not to lose you can say faith, or not to let the mind try to convince you this is going to last forever. The mind likes to do that. Even if we're in an ecstatic state of peace, that's also not going to last forever. Not the intensity of it. Everything's changing all the time. You see, can't keep anything. You can't stabilize anything. It's like we're not in control here. Everything's just flowing. But through law of evolution, because God put this law here, we come to wake up, realize who we are, and then we get to enjoy these gifts of peace and relaxation more and more and more and more. You get to the point, you cross over, and then it just keeps getting better and better. And then there's space. If there's some dark thing that has to happen, you know, whatever. It could be personal karma, collective karma. It doesn't matter. It's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Bring it. It's temporary. And then that person's free. You see, you can't judge someone because they're going through a hard time and say, oh, he's not self-realized. No, he wouldn't be struggling like that. That's stupid. That's the mind. You know, you can't just, people like to pretend like, I'm just going to, every time I make a video, I'm just going to laugh all the time. Oh, I'm going to show how, look how free I am. You know, I feel bad for those people, actually. Life's going to hit them at some point. And it's good. They're going to have to look at something they're not looking at. Don't try to put on any facade, spiritual or not. You be real, you show up to life. If you get angry sometimes, express it. Don't kill anybody or hurt them, but you just let this whole life play. When we surrender and accept our both selves, our higher self, so-called, and our human self, this is what real realization is. It's a balance between the two. That's a title, I think, that I wrote down. I didn't make a video on yet. All right, I'm going to make it, though. Hope that helped you. Have a good day.